I'm going to talk about, I guess, the top 10 most common knots that I use out doing production tree work in Florida. I'll talk a little bit about their variations of how I tie them and some of their characteristics, why that specific knot is preferable over other knots. Mainly the reason why we use a certain set of knots or certain types of knots doing tree work is because we want things that sometimes choke. We want things that are easily untied after loading. You know, certain knots that you would use if you load it really hard with something really heavy, it's going to seize down on itself. It's going to weld together. You basically have to cut the rope just to get it free. So we use certain knots in tree work for that, really that specific purpose, because we can load it and it's easy for untying purposes. So that's the main objective of this video. I'm not saying that these are the only ways to tie knots. This is the only knots you should use. This is just shit that I use personally on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So we'll start with the running bowline. So the running bowline, arguably the most necessary knot that any tree guy should know. All right, so you got, since I don't know the proper names for these, we're gonna call this the standing end and this the working end. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna capture the standing end with the working end, like this, underneath it. Capture the standing end. And you're gonna take this end here, the working end, and you're gonna lay it over across itself like this. Roll it up and under, and now you've effectively created the loop. Go around, follow the same path. Don't try to go in another direction. Follow the same path. So if it comes out of there like that, you're to the right, you're gonna follow that path around and back down through, just like that. Now you know that it's right if the tail is on the inside of the loop. One more time, I'll do that slowly. So you're gonna go around whatever you're gonna be tying it on. You capture the standing end with the working end. You're gonna come over here, lay it over the top, roll it under and through like that. And then you're gonna go around and back down through. I think another thing that helps a lot is getting the dexterity in your fingers, you know, not being so mechanical when you're trying to tie it. You're used to holding different sections of the rope and pinches and shit, you know, like using your thumb and your index finger. So again, I'll do it one more time here. I'm gonna lay it over, roll it under, and now see I'm pinching and holding. I'm using these fingers. Go up and around. Again, pulling some slack through there. So it's just like dexterity in the fingers is gonna help you. Like, don't be afraid to use them all like you're playing a guitar. So that's the running bowline. So moving on. So that's the running bowline. Now that's number one. Number two is gonna be the stationary bowline. So it's the same thing except it doesn't run. Stationary bowline, there's many ways to do it. The way I do it is I lay the working end over the standing end like this and make a 4. Then I reach through this dead space right here, grab the tail, bring it through, and now I'm gonna pull down towards me on this. At the same time, with my right hand, I'm gonna push up on the standing end. So it's gonna look like this. That's gonna make the loop, just like that. And now you're gonna take that tail, go around, back down through. And that's a stationary, it's not gonna run. That's valuable for, obviously if you're tying onto a machine or whatever, the stationary is the way to go. You'd be doing it with a light, but ultimately it's the same. I do it the same way when I'm tying onto a machine. So again, lay it over the top, reach through this opening, grab the tail, pull and push around, back down through. Quick, easy. Another variation to that would be to make an under loop like this, slide it through, go around, back down through. That's the stationary bowline. All right, now next, number 3 is going to be the running daisy chain. This is another running bowline style knot that the reason why I like it and a lot of guys like it is because it's really fast to tie and really fast to untie. So what you would do is take the working end, capture the standing end just like with a running bowline, but instead of coming over here and doing this, what you're going to do is you're going to upside down, fold it backwards, fold backwards, make a loop, and you're going to bring this over here, tuck it in, and then just continue that, keep tucking it till you have enough, and then you're going to do that. So that's going to run down, it's going to cinch up just like a running bowline, and then when it comes down, it's easy for the ground crew to just pop that out and pull it out. So that's the running daisy chain. There's no, like, you know, some people say if you want it to hold, if you're going to do a big piece and you want it to hold better, you would do 2 back to back like that, and then 1, 2, like minimum of 2. I usually try to do 3. I don't want a bunch of tail hanging down, but yeah, so apparently that's a more effective way of, like, if you're going to load it really heavy, there's a possibility it could, you know, cinch down on itself, so you do 2 instead of 1, but ultimately it's the same concept. So one more time, capture the standing end with the working end, make a loop, tuck, and you can see the daisy chain. It's actually incredibly strong. So, all right, bowline with the Yosemite finish. So this is a, you know, pretty important thing to know as well. So if you want to do a bowline, like a stationary bowline, but you want it to be more effective, at like a more secure version, or like for me, for instance, if I'm rigging and I want to have a knot that's not going to cinch down, it's going to be easy to untie, but the tail's not going to be sitting there flapping in my way, I'll do a Yosemite finish on the bowline. So what that looks like is you're going to come up and you're going to, like a regular bowline, like you would do, loop, under, around, back down through, just like that. Give yourself enough tail, because what you're going to do is follow that direction around, do another loop, and then take the tail and go back up through the main neck part right there. I dress and set that. Now there is a wrong way to do this as well, but I've done it this way many times and it's never come undone. So that is a Yosemite finish on a bowline. I'll do it one more time. So you're gonna come up here, do a regular bowline, stationary, and from there you're going to follow it in this direction around and back up through. Dress it, set it. That keeps the tail up out of the way, so if I had a carabiner on here and I was rigging like that, it's out of my way. Alright, so that's the running bowline, or excuse me, the bowline with the Yosemite finish. Alpine Butterfly, extremely useful knot to know. So what I use this for is basically like, all right, so for instance, if I wanted to do a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage, I had this piece tied off and I was going back to a block or a pulley and then back up, and I needed a section of the rope to attach another pulley to. Obviously I could use a prusik, but something that's quick and easy is an Alpine Butterfly. So the way I do it is I'm holding the rope like this. I'm gonna make 1, 2 loops, reach under, grab the middle loop and pull it out like this, so that it makes an 8. And we're gonna come over and tuck this back through the middle, just like that, and then just pull it down to cinch it. That's an Alpine Butterfly. Should look something like that when it's done. And now from there you can attach a block or a pulley here, or you know, in some cases if you're tying a trailer down or whatever, you can just use the knot or the loop here. But it keeps the rope in line, so the rope is still in line. So if you had a section of rope that was cut or something like that, you needed to isolate it, this is a good way to do it and to still be able to use the rope. And yeah, it's just a very useful, I use it pretty much the most for mechanical advantages. But yeah, that's the Alpine Butterfly. So I'll do it one more time. The way I do it, there's a few different ways to do it, but that's the way I do it. So come up here, loop, loop, grab the middle one, pull it out, give yourself some slack, go over and tuck that back through the middle. That's the Alpine Butterfly. All right, that was number 5. Now let's talk about the Clove Hitch. So the Clove Hitch is another useful one. I'm not going to spend too much time on the Clove Hitch and the Cow Hitch because I've already talked about those. But basically a Clove Hitch would be, you're going to go around the piece once, come under, go back around that piece, same direction, and you're going to come in. I'm going to give myself some more tail. Same direction. You're going to tuck that tail straight back through there. Should look like that. That's a Clove Hitch. And now by itself it's not very secure, so you're going to do 2 half hitches at the throat here in order to make it more secure. That's a Clove Hitch. So now we're getting into like crane sling territory, but yeah, it's very useful to know. That one and the Cow Hitch are very useful to know if you're doing crane work. Obviously, if you've got slings that aren't like endless loop slings or have shackles that just look like this, then you're going to need to know how to put that on the piece. So the main way is with the Cow Hitch. So I'll just go ahead and show that one too real quick. So the Cow Hitch would be, you're going to go around the piece like this, and then just like the Clove Hitch, you're going to come under. Instead of going back in the same direction, you're going to come back the opposite direction. You're going to trace the line, follow it around, and you're going to tuck it through there. And that's a Cow Hitch. And then you're going to do the same thing to back it up, 2 half hitches on the neck. And that's how you would attach crane slings. It's the Clove Hitch and the Cow Hitch. All right, now we're going to talk about the anchor hitch. So the anchor hitch is useful for flip lines, you know, like your buck strap or whatever, attaching carabiners. Some people climb with it, they use it to climb with, but anyway, or to rig with. It's good for rigging too. So it's really simple. It's been used for a long time. And so anyways, the way you do it is you would have a carabiner, you're gonna loop it under like this. I'm gonna go ahead and put this around. It doesn't have to be around anything to do this, but just for the sake of it holding. So you're gonna come under like that. Do it again, another loop, 2 loops there. And you're gonna go behind the standing end here and back through those loops. Dress it and set it. And that's the anchorage. So you obviously would like, you know, the best thing to do would be have a stopper right here. I didn't give myself enough tail, but that's effectively an anchor hitch. And you back it up with a stopper knot so that it doesn't back itself out. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is going to be the double fisherman. This is what I use. I believe it's called the double fisherman or the barrel knot, whatever. This is what I use to attach carabiners for my flip line. So, because I like that it keeps the keeps the tail out of the way. It's kind of compact. So what you're gonna do is go under like that. Give yourself enough tail. You're gonna wrap from the top down. So wrap once, twice, and then you're going to tuck that tail up through those loops. If I can get it. All right. Now you'll know that you did it right if it has that characteristic X on the front side and then the 2 squished together on the back side. Nice and compact, keeps your tail out of the way, and it's a cinching one too. So if you look, like it could be like this, it's gonna cinch down on it. And the best part about it is that when you remove the carabiner, you can just slide it right out. Alright, and then the last one that I'm going to talk about is the stopper knot. So this is effective for climbers because you want to have a way to attach your rope bridge. So there's the barrel knot and then the double barrel knot. So the barrel knot would be, you're going to lay, or the way I do it is I lay the tail over my finger like this, and I'm going to be wrapping up towards my wrist. So one. Once you get that, you're going to tuck the tail in. Again, it'll have that same X characteristic on the front and them squished together on the back. So it'll look something like that. That's a barrel. That's what you can use to attach your rope bridge. You see guys will have that a lot on their rope bridge. And then you can do a variation of that, which is what I do now, called the double barrel. And basically you're just doing one more wrap. So same thing, wrapping up towards my wrist, one, and then a whole nother one. You're gonna go tuck that back through. And now this one, where that X was in the front, it's gonna have 2. And they'll all 3 be pushed together on the back. That's the double barrel stopper knot. It's a little bit bulkier. Definitely no chance that's going to come through that hole that's on the cat's paw on your bridge, or the bear paw, whatever it's called. That's the double barrel stopper. Pretty much it for that video on knots. Let's do a little recap. I believe we did the running bowline, stationary bowline. We did the bowline with the Yosemite finish. We did the running daisy chain. We did the Alpine Butterfly, Clove Hitch, Cow Hitch. We did the double fisherman, anchor hitch, and both variations of the barrel knot, stopper knot. So anyways, that's it for this video. Again, these are the ones that I use in the way that I tie them. I'm not even sure if most of the names are 100% accurate, but anyways, if you got something out of this video, hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it. Until next time.